everybody. It's great to see you today, but I really do look forward to seeing so many of you face to face at the Craft Brewers Conference this April and May in Indianapolis, Indiana. We kick off CBC week with our welcome party on April 28th, which we're going to dive into shortly. But first, today I'm joined by some of the amazing partners and hosts who are going to help make this event a success. So Courtney, tell the world a little bit about yourself.
I am Courtney Guggenberger. I'm from Guggman Haus Brewing Company here in Indianapolis. We are local owned, operated. It's me and my twin sister and our husbands. And we have a beer garden tap room, a big racing history, like tied to the racing history here. And we are really excited to host the welcome party on Monday of CBC.
So Courtney, in 5 words or less, how would you describe the family dynamic working at your business? 5 words or less, stick to it.
5 words or less, my goodness. It works, I guess. That's 2 words. The ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows and it works.
Those are good ways to describe it. I'll ask your family members how they feel when I see you all in a few weeks.
Go for it.
Pulkit, your turn. Say hello.
Hey, everyone. My name is Pulkit Agrawal. I'm the founder and CEO of The Fifth Ingredient. We have the brewery data management system known as Beer 30. I'm very excited for CBC. We'll have booth number 3114. If you're interested in learning more about Beer 30, come on by. And I'm also giving a talk on Wednesday, so that'll be a lot of fun as well at CBC.
So, Pulkit, you're a world traveler. Where are you right now?
I am actually in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, back home for the next 2 weeks, getting ready for CBC, and then the barrage of travels and everything gets started after CBC.
Yeah, prepare for that week. Enjoy the time in Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
Adrian, good to see you in your fancy new backdrop.
Thank you. Great to be here. My name is Adrian. I'm one of the founders of Sippo. We're very excited to be one of the hosts of the welcome party. That's also happening at the brewery in Indianapolis. And we're going to be at CBC as well with a booth under Keg Shoe, so you can chat to myself and Torin there. Yeah, super excited. Thanks for hosting this event, Andrew.
No, we're really excited to have you all as a partner. Adrian, really appreciate your support on this one. Now, you just mentioned Keg Shoe, but the word above your head to the left says Sippo. Talk to us about that relationship for a moment.
So Sippo started actually within Keg Shoe at first, and it's started off as a little project within the company. And what Sippo does is it offers digital menus, so TV menus, print menus, web menus, that kind of thing, all under one umbrella. And we're excited with the positive feedback we've gotten so far. And Sippo is sort of taking life on its own. And so we're excited to represent Sippo at the party.
You're just like all the brewery owners now who wear so many different hats.
Yeah, I mean, only a couple. Honestly, brewery owners, they're the real champions of the world.
So I want to dive in because as I was preparing to talk to you 3 today, I realized this will be the 5th welcome event we've hosted at CBC, which is crazy because I really think back to when it was unique COVID times. We were all in Denver. We hosted at Jagged Mountain Brewery there, which was an amazing time. In the room, we had no idea what to expect in advance. So we found a spot that could hold a couple hundred people. And for that point in our lives, it was uncomfortably crowded for probably 3 hours, but it was an amazing time to see everybody come together. And we've continued the tradition the past 4 years following that. And we're really looking forward, Courtney, to coming to your spot and experience in Indianapolis. And I know a lot of people probably haven't been to Indianapolis before. So what is Indianapolis known for? What can we expect with regard to coming to your city?
Oh, so what is Indy known for? We're kind of like a melting pot of many things, but if you are coming, we do have a lot of like the Hoosier tenderloin is definitely one of the things that we're known for, I guess. And sugar cream pie, although I don't know the last time was that I actually had that. But I think Indy we host a ton of conventions here. Like our convention center is amazing. And the Visit Indy team does such a good job bringing conventions to the city, but it's very walkable. If you want to kind of explore different neighborhoods, there's different cultural districts. So you have like Mass Ave and Broad Ripple and Fountain Square. And so each one has its own kind of vibe and different restaurants and breweries. If you want to go get outside and like go experience some green space, there's The White River State Park is just down the street, like close to the convention center, so you could walk over there. Because we're actually a river city.
State park near the convention center?
The White River State Park's downtown. Yeah, there's a big like amphitheater, so we do a lot of concerts out there. It's connected to the zoo, and then there's just a lot of green space to walk around. There's Eagle Creek, which is a really cool reservoir that's about 20 minutes drive away. I don't know. I could go on and on. You know, we live here. We have 3 kids, and Indy's our home. So we're really excited to welcome everybody here.
No, it's been a while since I've been there. I'm excited to come back. Like with regards to like the exact location of the conference at the convention center there, are there any top restaurants you would say people have to check out within walking distance of where we'll be spending a lot of our time?
Yeah, walking distance down there, like the whole Mass Ave district is walkable to the convention center. Down there, there's like Delaware Street, which is a really cool street that they close off traffic on part of. Like St. Elmo's is one of the most famous restaurants with this really famous cocktail sauce that they sell all over the city. What else is down there? I'm trying to think. I have some of my favorite restaurants listed that I could call out. Like, Bodhi is one. They actually serve our beer as well, but it's like a really good Thai restaurant down there. Really depends what you're looking for, but there is honestly something for everybody.
Courtney, we'll have to get a good brunch recommendation for Pulkit and I later, and we have a yearly tradition of starting off with a meal, so we'll have to get a good tip.
There's a lot of good brunch restaurants. I was at a good one yesterday I could recommend to you.
Thanks. We'll keep that in mind.
Awesome. So Pulkit, what CBC is this for you? What number?
I started off CBC in 2018. So every year since then, minus the COVID year. So yeah, 7 years now. So
you've done it a lot. The industry has changed quite a bit since looking back at those days. What are you most excited for this go around about coming together in Indianapolis?
I think for me, the coolest part over the years is we've kind of transitioned into just a bigger team and kind of looking at it from all the different people that are coming by. It's actually just hanging out with different customers who have become really good friends over the years and partners like yourself and Adrian. We've worked together at this point in different capacities. Courtney, you've been using Beer 30 now for a few months as well. So it's really cool to just see different individuals that we've had connections with. And for me, it's pretty much like a fun annual reunion of sorts of getting to see people, getting to see what they've been up to and just kind of reconnect. So for me, that's always a really fun part of CBC. And a lot of times it's you just get to see somebody maybe for a minute or two before they keep running by. And especially if you're there for a particular reason. So it becomes a really quick way to just meet a lot of people all at once.
I think that's a good way to sum it up. It's busy, it's quick. I know my days start bright and early and you should be prepared to go fairly late sometimes. So, Adrian, for you, Sippo, Kegshu, what are you looking forward to this year?
Yeah, quite a few things. Well, for one, every CBC is unique in that, like, you're going to a new city, you're experiencing sort of like the local scene, and you get to meet local brewers, and that in and of itself is always a lot of fun. So, and we saw that in Nashville, we saw that like in Vegas for a lot of the CBCs. For myself and the co-founder, Torin, this is like the first time that we're experiencing these cities. We're flying in from Canada, and so we're going in starry-eyed. So
you've never planned a family vacation to Indianapolis before?
No, not yet. Not yet. It was right up. It was next on the list. And yeah, honestly, like I don't know much about Indianapolis. Sorry, Courtney. Nor much about in Indiana. And so it's like, it really is a learning experience. Like, yeah, can't wait. And like Pulkit mentioned, every CBC, you get to meet a lot of the partners that you've been working with for a long time. You get to see customers, sometimes like customers you've been working with for years, but you've never actually met them in person. And so to have them come by the booth and say hi, and like, it's obviously it's not family, but they're definitely friends at this point. And so it's a lot of fun. So
CBC, as we've said, is a long week. You got to plan for it. Adrian, you like to experience the local culture. So for you, just as a person, take away even your business, how do you find the time to do things to get the taste of Indianapolis and the other cities that you visit?
It's just like traveling anywhere else. I think every person is a bit different. For me, I always try to explore the nature, the food scene if possible, and any architecture like tidbits or highlights. And so, for example, in Minneapolis, Torn and I, we rented bikes and then we biked around on our free day. And it's beautiful. You get to explore Minneapolis, St. Paul's, the river. It's like really, really like a really stunning city, or Twin Cities rather. And yeah, you really you feel like you're part of the town as opposed to just going to a hotel, walking to the conference center. Like there's so much more to explore. And so I would definitely encourage everyone to get outside the little bubble that is the conference, as great as the conference is, and try to explore the city itself. So
yeah, good tips there.
That's my favorite way to explore a city as well. I'm right there with you.
yes.
So Courtney, you've mentioned before we hopped on that you've been to CBC before. How many have you been to, and where was the last city?
So I've been to 2. Back in 2019 in Denver, me and Derek, my husband, went, and it was at the end of April, and we opened our brewery soft open May 23rd. So that CBC was a defining week for us, because I came back and I was working in corporate marketing, and we were like, if we're gonna do this and go all in and start this family business, I need to quit my job. And so that next Monday when we got back, I turned in my 2 weeks and we went for it. And it was being around all the people there and seeing the potential of what it could become, and just it got us so excited. And then 2 weeks later, my husband quit and we jumped all in, and here we are 5 years later.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And then the last one I was at was in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. So I'm excited to go and do some of the seminars and stuff again.
Looking back to that first one in Denver, what's a lesson you learned that you planned for better when you went to Minneapolis?
I think overall my perspective was different in many ways, because then we hadn't even opened yet. So it was just so new. And then in Minneapolis, I had certain talk tracks that I was going after. My husband goes to different ones, and really all 4 of us as owners will go to completely different tracks this time as well. So I think I like to look ahead, and I'm trying to have my team look ahead, because we're sending about 6 to 8 of us, I think, to really plan and make the most of it. So yeah, I like to plan out my day and know where I'm going to be, and then spend some time walking the floor to meet, Adrian and Pulkit out there as well.
Well, you're going to meet them on Monday night to start, so you can hang out even more with them, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, but I want to echo the planning portion. I think the first time I went to CBC, I tried to be more spontaneous. Granted, I had my share of scheduled meetings, but I realized if I wanted to see everybody I needed to spend personal time with, it needed to be well thought out in advance. And that really translated over to what sessions do you want to see? Because when you're walking a quarter mile across the convention center, you got to make sure you'll be there so you don't miss a third of the talk if it's one you really want to plan for. Now, Pulkit, you're nodding your head. Planning, very important, right? How do you do it? Tips for people, wanting to make the most out of their CBC experience?
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing, there's effectively, if you're there for the whole conference, there's 2 key pieces, right? It's what are the booths that you want to attend, and what is it that you want to do in terms of the talks. So that's in conference itself. And then you have all the planning post-conference, every single night of events happening. So it actually makes a lot of sense to partner up with other friends, people that you enjoy spending time with, just to kind of see what everybody else has picked. In terms of the actual trade show floor itself, it's really helpful to just go onto the BA's website, go to the CBC tab, and look at the entire map in advance. You can see every single booth. You can see all the vendors. You can search for different pieces in particular. If you're navigating between, hey, I am debating between this software and this software, I'm debating between this POS and this POS, it's a great way to just have a game plan. And with that, you could then pretty much figure out how much time you have in between when it comes to the actual visiting the different areas of the trade show floor, because of how big it can be, and having enough time to go back to the different talks. And so with that, also using the BA's whole list in order to understand which talks it is that you actually want to go to, which track it's a part of. And so as you start kind of playing this massive Tetris game, it becomes a lot of fun to really plan that out. At least fun for me to kind of plan this Tetris game out. And then with that, definitely making sure that you add in certain times for breakfast, certain times for lunch, making sure that you have different hydration breaks, things in between. I don't know what the rule is in Indy, but I've seen people start drinking as early as like 10 or 11 a.m. And so it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's also very important that you're there for a particular reason, right? Your employer has decided to send you, or you as the owner of a business have decided to go, not just for a social time, but actually getting a huge value out of it. So really looking at those maps, those schedules, and then all the after hour events, just talk to people. I think most of my favorite happy hour events afterwards have come not from planning those, but in particular, just talking to different brewery owners, different friends to see what they're going to, which usually ends up leading to a really cool, fun experience. So just be very open-minded about what's happening around you, and just check out a game plan for the actual trade show itself and the seminars themselves.
Yeah, having a game plan is so important. I found that if I just want to walk the floor and say hello to the people that I already know, that's at least 5 hours of just walking and saying hello to people like Pulkit and Adrian, you know? So if you want to meet a lot of new people, it's almost a full day out there. No, Adrian, you've been to a few CBCs now. Give us your tips for planning. Anything specific we need to bring? I'd love to hear if there's anything you always pack in your backpack.
Well, I would say this. So one thing to note is, and I know Pulkit, you can attest to this as well, the experience of CBC or any conference is different if you're an exhibitor versus an attendee. I think vastly different, because when you're exhibiting, you're often in and around the booths, and you're sort of staying in that trade show area. So for me personally, my favorite thing to pack, and the thing that I always pack, is at least 2 bananas per day, because that that you need something to like snack on when necessary. And so sometimes you forget to eat because you're just like on the trade floor the entire day. But that sort of applies, I think, to attendees as well. Like, make sure you have snacks on hand. You're probably going to be overwhelmed with all the different tracks that you want to go to, or like the different speakers that you want to see, or people that you want to meet. And if you do want to see all those things, you might not have time for a snack or a coffee. So if you can, bring it with you.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because you're constantly moving. There's always something to do. So I put granola bars in my pocket. That's my banana. So I'm making sure I have something that I can eat, because we don't always want to enjoy convention center food. We want to have something quick we can have on a whim. Yeah, no, that's a great tip there, Adrian. And the experience for the exhibitors and the attendees who are going to the conference portion more so, it is similar and different. I would imagine most of the tips you can give are very similar, because we all ultimately end up at the same evening activities. Yeah. And me personally, there's one thing I struggle with. I always wonder, should I carry around my laptop bag? I know it's a weird thing to do, but I'm like, well, what if I want to follow Courtney right to the brewery and don't want to have my, laptop over my shoulder? It's just these weird little things you have to plan for, because I imagine when we all go out in our own neighborhoods, we're not bringing, backpacks with us, unless if you're Pulkit, maybe Adrian, I don't know. I feel like we should do that.
I always give myself, after the trade show, before the evening events start, we usually give ourselves anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour just to like decompress, drop off your stuff back at the hotel room. One thing I always recommend carrying is a portable charger. That's been a game changer to always have with you, especially because you're always on the phone, always on the go. Last thing you want is to be at like 2% trying to call an Uber or Lyft, or trying to figure out where your teammates are. So just very important to be charged up, I think, is pretty good. And then, having that bit of a break afterwards, Andrew, helps drop off the stuff and kind of get in the mindset of more of a social piece. As an exhibitor, you're always on, and no matter where you're at, you're always trying to just talk to people and learn and connect with people. So it's always a really important piece to just have that we saw a silent moment for a few minutes.
So, Courtney, we're all going to be running probably on not a lot of sleep and wanting to do so much. Best coffee shops near the convention center? Where do you recommend we step outside, grab a quick cup of coffee, or walk to a place nearby?
Yeah, there's a lot of just like locally owned, locally roasted coffee shops around. Not to mention at our brewery, we have one as well, actually. But Blue Mind's one of our favorites. We actually serve their coffee at our coffee shop, but they have a coffee shop off 38th Street. It's super cute, and the coffee is like amazing. There's Coat Check Coffee down in the Athenaeum down on Mass Ave, which comes highly recommended. There's Provider. There's a lot of them, honestly. So we do love our coffee here in Indy. And then kind of Adrian, to your point about biking, when I wrote down some notes while you're talking about that, things I failed to mention, but we have a cultural trail that like you can bike and walk on that connects these different cultural districts. And then we have the Pacers bike share as well. So it's like a bike share program where, you get a bike here and you bike to the next spot and can trade it in and go walk around and stuff. So that's a cool thing. And then Victory Field is right down there as well. I don't know if there's a baseball game or not, but that's a really fun experience too. And of course the Speedway, Andrew, I forgot to mention, but like we are
doing that eventually, like the Indy 500 or whatnot.
Yes. So that's so we're located about 2 miles from the Speedway. Speedway is probably about like 4 or 5 like from the convention center. And it's where the Indianapolis 500 is, racing capital of the world. So if that's an interest to anybody listening. You can set up tours. They just reopened the IMS museum, and that is obviously a big part of Indianapolis as well.
Good tips there. No, Courtney, you all opened, was it 2019? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yep.
So looking at, where you are in your life as a business, but where we are as an industry right now, what are the topics at CBC you or your team's most excited to go attend sessions on?
I think me personally, I'm interested in just some of the like how to grow your business in this economy and like where to kind of focus your time. Obviously, the trend for us from what we've seen is, the first 2 years we were just in a small house, which is now our coffee shop. And then when we opened our bigger space, we became family friendly. So we are very much like the whole experience. So you come for the beer and you can stay, there's food, but then you can bring the whole family as well. And it's transitioned over that time to be more of that family dynamic. That was kind of a tangent, so I'm sorry, but I'm looking for more just of how to like elevate what we already have and look at some of those more business topics. And then Derek will look more at like the technical brewing stuff. My sister's never been, so she'll just kind of go to what kind of anything that might interest her. And then my brother-in-law does our finances, so he's gonna go to some of those.
It's nice to have everybody in unique roles to follow those different paths of talks.
It sure is, yes.
So Pulkit, you're leading the talk. Tell us about it.
Nice. Yeah. So I am leading a talk on Wednesday with Jen Bush from Kona Brewing Hawaii and Mitch Steele from New Realm Brewing. And so it's the three of us really doing a full deep dive on different KPIs and just management techniques in order to actually incentivize employees, really looking at the power of data visualization to get to those KPIs. So a lot of different ways to really just have people leave that seminar understanding some actionable items that they can take at their brewery. One of the big things that I always hear whenever we talk about KPIs is that a number of breweries think that they're just too small or that it doesn't apply to them. And so really being up there to be able to showcase some basics of that and some of the more complex ones becomes really critical, because every single brewery, if you're brewing, if you have mash, pH, knockout, et cetera, you have aspects of KPIs involved. And so it's going to be really exciting to give people a direction when it comes to production KPIs, sensory, finance, cost of goods sold, tap room. And so Jen, Mitch, and I have really been prepping for this for a number of months now. So it's going to be really exciting to have the three of us up there on a panel as well.
I'll do my best to get in the back and take a picture of you all taking a selfie of each other, because that's like always
there we go.
I think I'll attend your talk. That sounds like what I'm looking for.
Nice. Love that, Courtney, for sure.
No, Adrian, you're not giving the talk this year, but hopefully at some point in the future, because I know you have a lot of really unique insight to share. But for those people, those brewery owners, managers you're interacting with, are you seeing certain questions come from a lot of people, as in like hot topics right now, just from your unique viewpoint with both Sippo and Kegshu?
Yeah, no, of course. I think maybe starting on the Kegshu side. So Kegshu, it's a cake tracking software, and with a lot of our customers on Kegshu are self-distributing, or at the very least, they own their own kegs. And so when you're looking at an industry that I would say is facing maybe an uphill battle right now, economically, a lot of costs are going up. It's like every penny counts. Margins are already low. And so how can a business like a brewery actually run and manage a well-oiled machine of a keg logistics program. And so that's a big topic, and it's overarching. I mean, there's tariffs, there's inflation, there's so many things happening right now. And I think I think Courtney mentioned it before, it's definitely top of mind, I think, for a lot of people. And it also affects, it affects the suppliers as well. Like I'm sure for us at Cake Show, I'm sure for Pulkit, everybody supplying, when your customers feel the pain, you feel that as well. And so I would say that's probably the top thing that we've heard about.
Good feedback there. So, as we wind this conversation down, I do have one more question I want to throw out to everybody before we maybe kind of take a tangent or two. So what's the one thing you would recommend someone has to do when coming to CBC? What's the one must-do thing, whether it's an event, whether it's a planning tip? What's the one thing that if someone does one thing right, it needs to be that?
I mean, if you want me to say attend the CBP welcome event, I'm happy to.
You don't have to say that, but that's you're watching here today. Hopefully, we see you there.
Welcome to say back. Attend the Beer 30 booth. We could go that way if you wanted to.
Take it any way you want.
I think, Courtney, go for it.
To make it a success.
Yeah, I would say at least make an effort to do, if you're going to just do one networking event where you're kind of putting yourself out there and meeting. And I'm excited for this event because I just meeting other people that are in your shoes. If I can meet other women owners, if I can meet other women mom owners, finding people that are in your shoes that can resonate with what you're going through, and you can have shared experiences and share your experiences with each other. I think that can be a really lasting, memorable, impactful experience.
Yeah, 100% to everything you just said, Courtney. That's why we go to these events.
Okay.
That was great. Pulkit, what's your tip to make CBC a success?
In addition to the planning piece, all around, I'd say stay hydrated. Just carry water bottles with you, and just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. I'm a huge proponent, at least of CBC and in general, the buddy system. When you're going out, it can be very easy there's a lot of events that just have a lot of free beer all around. We're all in the industry. We all know what can happen with that. So just make sure you take care of yourself, take care of friends, take care of others. And, it's a learning opportunity. So it's always a lot of fun. And so plan, stay hydrated, have fun.
And Adrian, any additional tips to make it a success?
What better way to start off an incredible conference than by attending the welcome party at Guggman Haus? That's a pretty easy one. But maybe to my earlier point, it would be definitely try to make the entire experience even more memorable by trying events outside of just the conference. I think especially if you meet somebody, maybe a colleague or someone that you haven't seen in a while, go and try something new in the city. I think that's great. Guggman Haus is co-hosting, I believe, a Boats and Brews. I think there might be even 2 events. So just to rep that out, which allows you to explore sort of the scenery of Indianapolis. An event like that could be a great thing to take your new friends on. And so I'll say that.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian, for that. No, Courtney, I know you all are quite busy CBC week, as you mentioned. Walk us through some of the other events you all are doing. We'd love to hear about them.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just working on my Instagram post for this that I'm going to post after this talk. Okay. So Monday we're doing the Boats and Brews. Thanks for that plug, Adrian. You can start at Guggman Haus. We take you up the river. Our friends at Frank's Livery, you paddle back down for about 3 hours, and then they bring you back to Guggman Haus. And that's just a nice way to be outside before being in the convention center for a while. On Tuesday, we're actually hosting a private event that night. Country Mall is doing their big party at our place that night. And then Wednesday, we're hosting our own house party. So this was where I brought some sponsors together. We have a 90s rock band out in the beer garden, and it'll just be kind of our Guggman events are always music, community, and beer. So we've also done 12 different collabs, 8 of them being with vendors, 4 with other breweries. We did one with Phase 3, with Streetside, Moontown, and Sun King. So we'll be featuring all of those. And then Thursday night, we have live music. That'll be kind of just a laid back night when everyone's probably just trying to chill a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll be
So,
going to bed pretty early on Thursday night to wake up for my 5 a.m. flight the next day. So we'll be pretty exhausted by that point in time.
yeah, I think so. Me too.
Sounds like an awesome week at Guggman Haus.
Yeah, we are so excited to welcome everybody. So we got we're going to be cleaning a lot next week. We've got a lot of organization to just kind of make the week as successful as possible. So
I mean, we appreciate you allowing us to host the event there, and it's going to be a good time just coming together. So thanks again.
Yeah, thank you guys.
No, Pulkit, I want to bring it back to you. CBC week is long. You're going to meet a lot of people. You're going to learn a lot of things. But you said it yourself a few minutes ago talking about your talk. It's important to leave with actionable strategies and things you can take back to your own business. So going into KPIs, what are some KPIs we can measure the success of our CBC experience?
Oh, okay. Well, it really depends if you're what role you're going into CBC at. But in particular, like if you're a vendor, you're looking at number of leads captured that are brand new, number of customers that you interact with, looking at just potential opportunities for connection with different vendors and how many of those you get. So those could be potential KPIs of sorts, Andrew, from like a vendor's perspective. I think from the attendee perspective, getting into the number of talks that you've attended, the time of what you're looking at, again, looking at different brewery collaboration potentials, different ways to just connect with current vendors that you have. If you are running a brewery and you're at CBC, I can guarantee you that at least 10 to 15 of the vendors that you probably do business with, especially if you're in the US, are at the show at the minimum, and 10 to 15 is completely arbitrary. So making sure that you end up meeting with them, getting a chance to like learn from the other people, and keeping a tab of like, I usually just use notes in my phone of like potential follow-ups as well, or just like some really cool things that I learned from attending different talks that I want to then look at. So the number of bullet points or the number of number of interactions that you have that you're like, oh, this is a potential follow-up for me or another collaboration. So those are some of the ideas that come to mind. You could try and do how many beers you drink, but I'm pretty sure that's a dangerous idea. So.
Yeah, that's not a good KPI. We're going to bleep that one out later on. But you mean, you nailed it. Take notes. Don't just consume all this because you're not going to remember it. Bring a notebook, use your phone, bring your laptop, make sure you're making notes, because the goal isn't just to hear a lot of interesting things, but to be more successful. That's why we're coming to these events, to learn from each other, to learn from the experts, to spend that important time, Courtney, like commiserating with people like us. So we're not alone. And that's one of my favorite things about these yearly events. And I can't wait to see you all in Indianapolis. Once again, the party is going to be on Monday. It's April 28th, 7 to 9 p.m. Huge thanks to all of our partners for this one. Huge thanks to you, Courtney, and Guggman Haus. But is there something you wanted to add to that, Courtney? I saw you on mute for a second there.
Nope, I just unmuted myself. We're excited to see everybody too. Yeah, I was gonna plug some other breweries because we didn't even go down.
Shout them out.
Shout them out.
Go for it.
So Cosmetic is not. There's so many great ones, but like Cosmetic is another woman-owned brewery on the Far East side. I know they're doing a few events too. Moontown's all the way out in Whitestown, but they're worth a visit as well. We're having a collab with them on Sun King will be walkable within the convention center downtown too. Taxman for Belgian. There's a lot of different options. So we are so excited to welcome everyone.
Courtney, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one because Eric is very persistent in the comment section on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Dive bar recommendation. I have a good dive bar too, so my ears are perked up.
Oh, I do too, but honestly, I just don't get out much between the business and my children at home. Dive bars. Okay,
no kid-friendly dive bars.
Well,
that close at like 6 o'clock for dinner.
The Red Key Tavern. That's actually down the street from my house, and that is like a cash only. I walked in and this musician that we have at the brewery sometimes playing, he was like on the piano playing. It was just a really great experience. So that's definitely one of them. Like dive. There's a lot downtown that are within like a couple mile radius. So I don't want to, I don't go to many dive bars, so I don't want to recommend one that I don't know. But
And I guess if you find yourself at a dive bar, take the earlier recommendations of drinking lots of water, then probably Courtney's coffee shop tips for the next morning.
there you go.
And then Adrian's banana in your pocket or wherever it was hiding out. I don't know.
There you go. For everyone.
So yeah, I can't wait to experience. So thanks for those recommendations, Courtney. Now, Courtney, for anyone looking for that calendar of events Guggman Haus is doing, or kind of checking out you all a little bit more on Instagram, where can they do so?
Yeah, at Guggman Haus Brewing on Instagram and Facebook. And then I have all the events listed on the weekly events on the CBC page as well.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you very, very soon. Pulkit, for anyone interested in connecting with you, maybe planning a meeting with you at CBC or just learning what Beer 30 is doing, how can they do so?
Yeah, we have a really cool, easy to use URL, www.trybeer30.com. TRYbeer30.com. Trybeer30.
Is that a new URL? I haven't heard it before.
Yep. Yeah. So instead of the fifthingredient.com, which still goes, trybeer30.com redirects us to the fifth ingredient. It was much easier when sending somebody just trybeer30.com.
I like that landing page, and I'm mad I didn't buy it first. Adrian, so excited to have you as part of this event. I always look forward to seeing you at CBC and CBP Connects events when you come to quite a few. Quick plug, will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, this is June 9th, 10th, and 11th. Extremely affordable, extremely actionable. It's a really intimate setting. I don't want to call it the anti-CBC because I love CBC, but the goals are a little bit different and people can enjoy both events. It's more regionalized, but we'll still see people come from across the country for that one. So if you want to learn more about that event, it's cbpconnects.com. But Adrian, back to you. For people who want to connect with you, learn more about Sippo, how can they do so?
Yeah, so best way is just to go to the website, sippo.io/CBP. So we do have a special page just for craft beer professionals. And so there you can find links also to RSVP, to the welcome event, and find out more about the CBP discount. If you want to meet us in person, we are going to be at the Cake booth at the actual trade show, and we're at booth 1241. And you can find out more about Cakeshoe at cakeshoe.ca.
And last thing, Adrian, introduce us to your mascot.
Oh, yes. Oh, that. What side? This side.
There we go.
Yeah, that is our beloved Sippo Hippo. There's really not much. I mean, the Sippo Hippo speaks for itself, and you may or may not see more of the Sippo Hippo at the welcome party. And so we look forward to everyone.
I have so many questions, but I'll wait to the welcome party.
Yeah. We can't wait for everyone to meet the Sippo Hippo.
Well, awesome. If you're joining us live today, everybody, you're watching in advance on YouTube, click the link in the comments to join us in Indianapolis. If you're listening on Spotify, you can go to indy.craftbeerprofessionals.org. You don't want to miss this event. Once again, Monday, April 28th, 7 to 9 p.m. First beer on CBP. We're excited to be at Guggman Haus. So thankful for all of our partners in this one. Everybody, see you at CBC, or hope to see you soon. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Here.